A lot of breaking Eagles news to get to on this Wednesday morning, so let's dive right in. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now. Chase Sr. here with you, and we have another loaded show coming your way. Jaire Alexander steps away from the Eagles and pretty much retires. I did a YouTube short on that last night, but I want to expand on that because will it lead to the Eagles signing Asante Samuel Jr. off the Steelers practice squad? In the process, Philadelphia making a couple of roster moves. And I know I'm exhausted by this too, but more A.J. Brown drama that we have to talk about here on the program. Before we dive into all of that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you want daily coverage on the Birds every single day year-round from yours truly right here on YouTube, lock us in and hit that subscribe button. While you do that, hit that bell icon, turn on your notifications, and hit all. Therefore, anytime I push out a show like this, anytime we go live for a live show or a watch party, you will be notified. And you see the figures here to my right. We're 465 people away from 137,000 subscribers. So Jay Glazer, NFL insider for Fox Sports, who's close with the likes of Lane Johnson, reported this last night, just past 7 p.m. Eastern time, that former Pro Bowl cornerback Jaire Alexander has decided to step away from football to try to focus on getting himself right physically and mentally before deciding on his future. Alexander informed the Eagles of his decision today. So that would have been on Tuesday, November 11th. Diana Rossini with some more reporting here, and she throws in the word retirement. Eagles cornerback Jaire Alexander has informed the team he's stepping away to focus on getting right physically and mentally, according to a source. But then she added this, of course, which was a little bit different from Jay Glazer's report, that the 28-year-old two-time second-team All-Pro is contemplating retirement. Now, the timeline of events is pretty interesting here. 2 Saturdays ago was when Howie Roseman made the move in trading for Jaire Alexander to get a veteran in a young corner room and to get some more depth on the outside. And November 1st was when that trade was made. Before the Green Bay game last week, as the Eagles were preparing to play on Monday Night Football, Jaire Alexander, whose health has come into question the last couple of years because he's had so many injuries, was asked about his health and his injury status. He said that he's fine, the knee is in a good spot, that he was healthy. He then practiced with the Eagles, and I didn't agree that this could happen, but some people in Eagles circles were saying, is there a chance that Jaire Alexander starts on Monday night against the Packers? I never bought into that, but he was on the practice field in that number 18 jersey, practicing with his teammates in that corner room. He was working with Christian Parker, who had coached him in Green Bay. That's a big reason why the Eagles brought Alexander in to reunite him with Christian Parker, because he played great ball, was an all-pro under Parker's watch. And as we know, Parker has done a tremendous job coaching up the likes of Quinyon Mitchell, who's playing like a first-team all-pro this year, and Cooper DeJean, who's the best slot corner in the NFL. But then as the game got closer, it was a coach's decision for Jaire Alexander to not travel to Green Bay to play and be on hand to play his former team. And then on Tuesday, he decides to step away. Now, Diana Rossini also added that this has been in the works over the last couple of days, but the Eagles were keeping this silent. That probably went into the decision and the coach's decision for him to not travel to Wisconsin. A popular question, though, has become, well, shoot, we trade for Alexander. He doesn't even play a game for the Birds. Will Philadelphia get their draft pick back that they sent to Baltimore? I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Maybe Philly and Baltimore can come to an agreement to just send those picks back to one another. But the Eagles received Jaire Alexander and a 2027 7th-round pick. The Ravens received a 2026 6th-round pick. Of course, the health for Jaire was always a concern. He has missed a lot of time in recent memory. And when he signed with the Ravens, Howie Roseman said last week he loved that deal. It was a good deal for Baltimore. He played his college football at Louisville with Lamar Jackson. So they decided to reunite, and the Ravens had a need at that corner spot. But when I had talked about the possibilities of the Eagles signing Jaire this past offseason, because that was a popular topic of conversation because they showed interest, I had said, two-time second-team All-Pro, but he's had a bevy of injuries over the last few years, and the game wasn't just where it was a few years ago when he was that All-Pro player. So he played in 2 games with the Ravens, and I thought that he lacked some explosiveness, couldn't really flip his hips, and didn't move laterally all that well. And in those 2 games, he only played in those 2 games and gave up 5 targets for 5 catches and 100-plus yards and a passer rating that was nearly perfect. And then the Ravens had him as a healthy scratch. That kind of told me everything that I needed to know, that the Ravens were a little bit concerned and they were trying to play some of their younger players. And then there was this report from Eagles Eric. What a crazy way and a funny way to describe an injury. And obviously, I hope Jaire Alexander well with his physical health and his mental health. My Packers contact called Jaire's knee, quote, braised oxtail, fall off the bone tender. Likely can only offer value giving tips to the young corners. That report kind of ended up being true, right? And bringing back the conversation about the injuries here, he only played in 7 games in 2024, 7 games in 2023. 2022, he played 16 games. He was an All-Pro, 14 PBUs, and 5 picks. But then in 2021, only played 4 games as well. So now Jaire Alexander joins a new list of sarcastic Eagles legends here. Frank Gore, who signed with the Eagles, never played a game because then he just signed with the Colts. That was during the legal tampering period. Zadarius Smith, who signed with the Eagles, decided to retire. And then Jaire Alexander gets traded for, doesn't play a game, and then he retires. Another question here with this is, what do the Eagles do from here? What will Howie Roseman do? Do the Eagles need to address the corner spot? Well, they did make a couple of roster moves today. One of them obviously includes Jaire Alexander. He's been placed on the reserve retired list, and the Eagles have activated cornerback Jakorian Bennett, who really never got an opportunity early in the year to stake his claim as a potential outside starting corner opposite of Quinyon Mitchell, because it was Adoree Jackson, Kelee Ringo getting those reps, and then Jakorian Bennett got hurt in that Week 3 game against the Rams. He made a terrific play, by the way, on that blocked field goal Jordan Davis-Coopin scored to end the game, because he leveled either the holder or Joshua Carty, the kicker, to let Jordan Davis-Coopin score that ball. But Jakorian Bennett is a player who, with the Las Vegas Raiders, again, did get hurt, but he was playing at a high level. But also, let's give credit where credit is due. I know recently I said I was out on Adoree Jackson. He played well against Green Bay. Gave up 4 catches on 6 targets for just 23 yards. Obviously, the Packers were down a couple of wide receivers, so the competition wasn't the best. But Adoree Jackson has not allowed more than 38 yards in a game since Week 1 when he was really, really bad. So I don't think the Eagles need to make another move here. You have Adoree Jackson, you have Kelee Ringo, and you have Jakorian Bennett. If you're able to generate pass rush like the Eagles have done against the Giants prior to the bye and against the Packers, where they were swarming Jordan Love, makes the back end's job a lot easier. But there's also a name floating out there, another player who we have discussed here on the show. Could the Eagles sign Asante Samuel Jr.? I know a lot of you will say, Chase, come on now. He's not available. He signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday. They got him after he visited with a few teams. Well, hold on. Here's the kicker. The Steelers signed Asante Samuel Jr. to the practice squad, meaning the Eagles could poach him off the practice squad if they signed him to the active roster. Now, of course, Jakorian Bennett has taken the spot of Jaire Alexander on the 53. That would require another move on the roster, but this is a possibility. And as we know, Junior has NFL bloodlines. His dad, Asante Samuel Sr., played with the Eagles and was a terrific big play, big game corner for the Birds after he made a name for himself with the New England Patriots. And I'm just speculating here, reading into the situation, but Asante Samuel Sr., Junior's dad, quote tweeted this tweet about Jaire Alexander, informing the team that he's stepping away with some eyeball emojis. This was after his son signed with the Steelers practice squad. And obviously, you'd rather be on a 53 than be on a practice squad. Something to perhaps watch and monitor. Coming up next here, we're only getting started, beginning to spread our wings here on Eagles Now. More exhausting A.J. Brown drama. We'll get into that coming up just around the corner, but let's get to our sponsor. Today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, sponsored by the DraftKings Sportsbook. If you don't know, I used to host our 76ers channel, but because Eagles Now is popping so much, I've just focused on covering the NFL, and the game is exploding in addition to our coverage here at Chat Sports. So producer Chip is now the host of 76ers Now. Just did a watch party last night for that fantastic Sixers win over the Boston Celtics. And so you'll see and hear Chip talking about DraftKings Sportsbook using the code Sixers Chat because we've been running that promo on our Sixers channel. But DraftKings Sportsbook, the best sportsbook in the game. We have some picks that we want to tell you about, but let me allow Chip to tell you more about DraftKings Sportsbook right now.
All your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. New customers, bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass, plus score $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SixersChat. That's code SixersChat. Bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass, plus get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
And, of course, I'm Sixers through and through because I'm a 4-for-4 Philly sports fan, rocking the Sixers logo here. Oh, now you can see it. Skinny Joey's Cheesesteaks. I was there over the weekend. Fantastic cheesesteak in Philadelphia. Anyway, back to DraftKings. Chips picks, plus 410. Eagles money line against the Lions, even on a short week. Birds getting the dub. Devontae Smith, 60-plus receiving yards. He's having a career year. And Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown. How about a little parlay on some Sunday Night Football? Odds and lines subject to change. Use that code SixersChat. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook and use that code, and you'll be well on your way. All right, to the back half of the show here. This A.J. Brown stuff is exhausting, man, and I really have nothing left to say on it until after the season at this point. I tweeted that out this morning, but I couldn't help myself. Look, it's gotten to the point where I don't want to talk about this A.J. Brown drama any longer, but I have to because this is my job, and I do think it's a noteworthy story. So A.J. Brown last night was on a Madden Twitch stream playing with Janky Rondo, who, of note, is a diehard Washington Commanders fan. He's also one of the more notable streamers out there on the internet, and there was an exchange and a couple of exchanges between Janky and A.J. where A.J. once again putting fuel to the fire that he is unhappy with the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, he was not traded going into the NFL trade deadline, but then coming out of the bye week and out of the deadline, he was targeted 3 times against the Green Bay Packers, did not look happy, and it seems as though he's still not happy with his current situation with Philadelphia. So here's how that exchange went. AJ was asked by Janky, everything good? And AJ said, no. Where have you been? Family's good. Everything else? No. It's a shit show. He laughed a little bit. You on some, how you been? He said, I'm struggling, brother. And then he said later, if you have me on fantasy football, get rid of me. After that, he threw himself the ball in Madden because he was playing with the Eagles. Janky was playing with the Lions. And AJ said, let's show him some love. Meaning himself. Good things happen when AJ gets touches. AJ then scored a touchdown. And he told his son, this is the only positive that I got with the football that I'm playing right now, pretty much. I understand why AJ Brown is frustrated. What makes him one of one and a top 3 wide receiver in the game is his constant pursuit for greatness. He even said, after winning the Super Bowl, getting that Super Bowl ring, he's not content. And I love that about him. He is a fierce competitor, that Mamba-like mentality, and he doesn't want to settle for being good. He has said he wants to be one of the greatest wide receivers in the history of the National Football League. And this year, he did miss that Giants game with that hamstring injury, but his numbers are down. Now, he still has an opportunity to go over 1,000 yards this season, but obviously the offense has been up and down. The pass game has been Jekyll and Hyde. It's been hot and cold. And the lack of targets would frustrate me a little bit too if I knew that I was such a special dynamic player and I wasn't even getting opportunities. Sean McVay is out there cooking up 20 catches a game seemingly for Puka Nacua, getting creative with ways, play calling, play designs, and within the scheme to get Puka Nacua the football. And so far this year, AJ has 31 catches for 408 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a long of 45. He's had a couple of splash moments, a couple of splash games against the Rams, against the Vikings, where he was really good, but the overall numbers are down. But I just have to say, man, I'm just so over this. It's gotten to a point where it's really exhausting. The Eagles are 7-2. They are the top seed in the NFC in a wide open NFL, wide open NFC. They have an opportunity to win a second straight Super Bowl. There is not a team across the NFL that has the Eagles' resume of wins this year. But A.J. Brown is out there saying pretty much, this shit sucks. Drop me if you have me on fantasy. And it's been a constant problem that continues to get brought up to him, the team, Nick Sirianni, and Jalen Hurts. And so many people are on Twitter saying, if I was playing for Jalen Hurts, if I was playing for the Eagles and this offense, I'd be frustrated too. Coming to the Eagles has turned A.J. Brown's career around. It's elevated him. He's become one of the best players in the NFL with the Eagles. Going into this year, he had been with the Eagles for 3 years. He has been an all-pro, and he has gone over 1,000 yards every single season that he's been with Philadelphia. He just won a Super Bowl in February. And if he's not getting along with Jalen Hurts, isn't it better than playing with Ryan Tannehill? And with Jalen Hurts throwing you the pill, you've been an all-pro 3 straight years. You are now a Super Bowl champion. That also helps out your marketability off the field. So I'm just wondering. I've been around AJ, and people who are in the locker room every single day say that he is a positive influence in the locker room, that he is beloved by his teammates, the way that he goes about his craft, and the leader that he is. He was voted a team captain for a reason. But at what point does the distraction become too much? The Eagles have put together a championship culture here. And that is in place, led by Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, and Nick Sirianni. It is about we, not me. And A.J. Brown continues to be the dark cloud in the corner screaming, me, me, me. There is no I in team. And he's bringing about distractions when the Eagles are 7-2 and just picked up another clutch win. So I am now to the point where I would not be surprised if the distraction becomes too much to handle and the Eagles trade him after the year to get rid of the distraction. And I know that might rub some people the wrong way, but I think the plan from Philadelphia's standpoint would be get rid of the malcontent. We don't want to deal with this drama when we're winning a bunch of games and we just won a Super Bowl. And I think the Eagles have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl again this year if they play their best football, especially with that defense. If the offense gets it together, it could be lights out, look out. And the Eagles are thinking Devontae Smith can be our wide receiver 1. He's shown that he can be that. He's having a career year, and he's such a dynamic all-around wideout. And then the Eagles could draft an affordable wide receiver early. They don't have a lot of other needs on the Eagles roster, and they could reset financially. Instead of paying AJ over $30 million and Devontae Smith about $25 million, that rookie wide receiver could be dynamic and be on a cost-controlled contract over the next 5 years. Another conspiracy theory that I have, what if it was A.J. Brown who is feeding Diana Rossini all those nuggets over time? It got ridiculous when Diana kept reporting that A.J. could get traded, that the Eagles are taking calls, that teams are interested. And we kept saying, there's nothing here. The dead cap hit is too much. It never made sense to trade A.J. this year. But after the season, maybe it could happen. And what if it was AJ in the DMs, text messages with Diana Rossini? I don't want to be the Alex Jones of NFL content creators, but it is an interesting conspiracy theory to discuss. Will AJ be on the Eagles in 2026? Type on, type off, comment down below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll be live here in a little bit. See you then.